this is going into July about this time. It's raining. When I got there in December, they were probably doing a lot of working on the forward slope of the outpost, digging it out and putting men in and supplies in there in the wintertime, down in there, to get ready to come up to Pork Chop. Now what happened is that somebody, I don't know who it was, because there was so much artillery from both sides, hit that outpost. They decided to cover the trench system. There was bunkers there, but they decided, well, we'll cover the trench system. Well, they get to be around July, and one night they just came up there and opened up, dropped down in, and then they started this thing. And that went on for 11 days, fighting like that. During that time, every company in that regiment, rifle company, went up that hill in those 11 days. It had about a company width could go up, no more, because it wasn't that wide. So you pushed up there, and the casualties amounted. That was the worst report I ever sent in my life. The whole regiment went up, A, B, C, not the weapons platoon. Then the 32nd came in there, the Buccaneers came in. They came over and reported to me because I remained in that CP. Their headquarters staff, their headquarters operations sergeant, and the intelligence sergeant, they came in and joined me. We had another regiment, it was the Polar Bears, and that was the 31st Regiment, 32nd and the 17th. The 3 regiments of the 7th Division. Always 2 up and 1 in reserve. But battalions worked the same way then. They probably don't now because they're brigades. It was raining. No air support, mind you. If we had air support, I don't think they would have taken Pork Chop, really, honestly. But they were dug in. They were there. They had these spikes so they could climb. They had the spikes on their shoes, and they could get up. We didn't have that. They got in and just about almost took a position. I guess A company came back. The first company, they stayed the whole time up there. First sergeant and six men. That was all left. And that company was at least 250 men. I guess that was when they was having the trouble back in the United States. The generals, our general, Ryan, or what his name was involved with some, they were calling them the communists and all of that, you know. They were crazy people back there. They were making the situation just worse. The people back home in Congress, this was happening there. They were calling our generals up for dressing, you know, because I guess the war wasn't going so good or something. But that was mean business, mean. It came along to be the 27th of July, and they got down to talking, and they decided to call an armistice, which is in force today. And each unit was, wherever they were on that animal, was instructed to pull back 1,000 yards. And then they came out, and their duties were to uncover, find casualties or people that had died in all that time, which they did. And we added up. I had to report to go in there 1,800 killed, wounded, or. When the armistice was signed, the searchlights came on. They brought up searchlights. Where they got them, I don't know. But they brought them up and lit up the whole area. I don't know, it was everybody was singing or something. They were happy that it was the armistice. They had signed the armistice.